Now, June deer chores. This is kind of exciting because we get into June. I'm extremely busy right now. I have my first client trip after having Lily, just 4 days out of the house, and then I go to Michigan for 8 clients in 9 days starting the 4th. I have a speaking event on the 4th in northern Indiana to some Amish folks there. I can't wait to go to that community. I love having our Amish clients down there. They're hardworking, extremely hardworking, take a lot of pride in what they do, so enjoying going and meeting some of those folks. And then we come back after that client trip and we have our charity event. So Camp Kicking Bear charity event is on the Saturday of Father's Day weekend. Starts at 10 o'clock, $200 per person. We still have some spots available at this time of filming. And we also have the $100 raffle for a hunt here at the end of September. We cover your lodging, food, drink. We have a great time. We get you out, especially in the evening, 2 to 3 different evenings. We kind of coordinate that with your schedule. We shoot bows, just hang out and have a good time and film it. And we've really enjoyed getting to know the guys that have come out and won that in the past. But it's $100. We have 100 of those tickets available. And so we'd love to see you, whether it's here at the event, all that money goes to Camp Kicking Bear. We make none of it. And so we actually spend on top of that. So we love Kicking Bear. It's a great organization. It's just simply getting kids involved. But until that time, life is really busy. And so I look at all this stuff we have to do, and we're just trying to get it all together. And really, when it gets to that Kicking Bear event, we're 3 months till deer season begins. That's crazy when you think about it. Literally 3 months. Number one, tree stand and trail cameras. I put those two together. In June, I really like all the vegetation's grown, kind of know what to expect with shooting lanes. I like clearing shooting lanes, getting stands installed. And really, that's my month for where it's the spraying, habitat, seeding, a lot of that starts to come to an end. And so really start to focus on that. And at the same time, we have a camera location potential at every stand location. Now, I shoot these oldest bucks in the neighborhood, 5, 6 years old. And they're getting their picture at the stand locations I shoot during the daylight. We place our trail cameras in locations to watch a mock scrape. We place them so the camera's hidden, 6 feet high. We've been doing this for years. If you look up how to hide a trail camera, you'll probably find some articles of mine from 15 years ago, 15 years ago. Started writing them a long time ago, 2007, 2008. You have to hide them. But a trail camera at a stand location does nothing to hurt your hunt in that location. Deer can't smell your camera. They can't hear your camera. If you want to know why or how that happens or to verify that, put a camera out on a stick somewhere where deer can see it during the daylight. Everyone that walks by will look at it. They don't like it, even if it's off to the edge of a food plot. But they don't look at it at night. Why? Because they can't hear it. They can't smell it. They see that box. They don't like it. So I put these two together because June is a time where you can start to see antler growth. So we're taking some of our cameras, moving away from pure turkey areas, and we're starting to look at more summer buck hangouts, but especially those stand locations and mock scrapes and those setups where we plan to hunt this fall. Because when we have a buck that comes through during the summertime, even if we only get him 5 times because he's living somewhere else during the summer, which is a good thing, then we know he's going to be back during the fall. He knows that spot. He came through that location. He's right in front of the stand. And what's really cool when you have a mock scrape there right in front of your stand, which we do at every stand location, and when that deer comes in, they're not focusing on the camera, especially when it's hidden, but they're not focusing on you up in the stand. They're focusing on that mock scrape. Bottom line is, been doing this for many, many years, decades, where I shoot my target bucks in different states, and I'm shooting them at the point where we have a camera watching a scrape. I've even done that on public land with a bow, where I shoot a certain target buck that I've had a camera on public land watching. We shoot them right in front of the stand location. It's not the camera that spooks a deer. It's your human intrusion and them actually seeing the shape of the camera. They don't hear it or smell it. So we put all those together. June is a great month to really set the tone. This stand is set. This camera location doesn't mean we have a camera at every stand. You have the ability to put one at every stand, but we have a mock scrape. But this is set. Now we're ready to go. Let us soak till September, especially if we have to do a lot of clearing. Number 2, buckwheat. The buckwheat ultimate no-till. If you just search that, you'll find lots of tips on my buckwheat ultimate no-till. I started doing this, came up with this back about 20 years ago, right around there. I actually planted my lawn in 2006 or 7 that way, putting buckwheat in for the summertime and then spreading grass seed with rye as a cover crop into that in the fall, and then smashing the buckwheat over it, and spraying to get rid of the buckwheat, and I was left with a beautiful lawn the following year. But I sprayed, and I had been using that method to plant my fall crops already for years. So now it's been decades. But you're planting that buckwheat sometime in June. I let your conditions of soil and quality of soil determine when you plant. If you have poor quality soil, then I let that buckwheat last for more like 8 to 10 weeks. If you have high quality soil, I'd rather let it grow for only 5 to 7 weeks. I don't want it to get chest high. I'd rather have it waist high, top of my thigh high, a couple feet, 2.5 feet, because I want to be able to walk through easily, spread seed into it, smash it over, spray, and have a good catch. Now, sometimes I really encourage people with brassica and some of those fine seeds you're planting in early August. So if I plant, people ask me, when do I put my buckwheat down? Well, if you plan to plant early August, then you're putting it down about the 10th, 15th of June with rain. You can throw it right on the soil and it grows. So we'll be putting ours down around that time. I plan to plant around August 1st. So that sets me back to, we'll probably put it out between the 5th and 10th of June. We have that Habitat Day on the 15th for Kicking Bear and that all-day event. You can go to, again, just it's the email to send that to and inquire to is, you can even do info@whitetailedhabitatsolutions.com. That'll get you to the right place too. But we'll have our buckwheat planted before that event or on the ground. But that starts that process of the no-till. And then we're seeding into it different ways. Sometimes with the brassica, because it's that small seed, we're smashing it down first, waiting a week for it to die, and then we spread into it. Buckwheat's the only crop that you can smash with. We use a Packer Max, called the Packer. Great product. But that's what we smash it over with. But you can also use tires. It just takes a lot more time. ATV tires, your truck tires. Some people can't drive out on their food plots with their vehicles. But it crushes over and crimps on its own. Rye doesn't do that. You need a crimper, expensive crimpers. You don't need to do that with buckwheat. And buckwheat is a pure smother crop. A lot of these summer soil improvement concoctions don't actually smother the soil, so it allow weeds to come in. Not all of them grow, so then there's holes that allow weeds to come in. Because they allow weeds to come in and it's not a smother crop, it dries out the soil, keeps weeds from being stopped. So you really look at buckwheat as a perfect summer. And also, buckwheat is high organic matter, but it's fine organic matter, so it works into the soil. Corn is the opposite, puts lots of organic matter into the soil, but takes years and lots of nutrients to break down. Not a good thing. Sorghum's another thing. Don't ever fall for putting sorghum in your plots for a soil builder. Really bad idea. Use buckwheat, a little bit smarter concoction and mix. Number 3, last minute switchgrass. Actually goes in June, believe it or not. I've had some great catches, even after Father's Day. Putting a crop of switchgrass, we call it Redneck Corner. Incredible stand of switchgrass. I show tunnels of that. We drive through all the time. That was put into right before several inches of rain over a 10-day period. Came in great. We'd already controlled weeds. And that's the number one concern. Not the timing when you put the seed on. You don't want to put it past July, but you put the seed on after you've taken care of weeds. We'll hit it with 2,4-D Roundup, 2,4-D Roundup. Sometimes like this year, we're going to put Simazine in when we throw the seed down to control future weeds. The bottom line is we can actually spread switchgrass early June to mid-June with moisture in the forecast. We're actually going to get a good catch. We'll probably get that up to 30 inches, 3 feet tall by the end of the summer. Last year we had drought in June and July. The switchgrass then was 10, 12 inches high. It germinated, but not till the end of July. So it'll sit there. We probably have seed from last year that didn't germinate, germinating this year, which it will. It'll lay there for that time and still germinate. So it's not too late. We have a northern switchgrass blend. It's a really good product for this north. Then we have a southern, and then we have an extreme. If you have sandy soils, extreme up north, cold temperatures, that's for that. But we have those products that you can check out on Pure Wildlife Blends. Pure Wildlife Blends is not a seed company that I promote. It's my own seed company. So all my blends, all my seeds, all my experience from 3 decades go into that. With little influence from anybody else is what works. And you'll find those blends change from year to year because I like to experiment because I'm always chasing perfection. Number 4, summer weather cruises. It's one of my favorite times. Once you get into June and we can recognize bucks, I like hitting the roads and looking for deer. Something we do as a family. But I really try to time when we're going out because we can't go every night. We have things we like to do, spend time with family, friends, activities. So it's not all about deer. My career is, my passion, my love for outside involves all deer hunting. But I go on our summer cruises. I like to go when we think we're actually going to see good bucks. And that is at a time when there's been temperature change, the temperature's dropped, there's been an extreme weather event. And I'll give you right now as an example. Today it's a muggy 74. Tomorrow it's supposed to be a high of 77. And we're getting drastic thunderstorms, high winds, chance of tornadoes, hail, really extreme weather, lots of rain. And then on Wednesday, today we're filming on Wednesday is supposed to be a high of 68 or 69. So there's a big temperature drop after a lot of volatile weather. You can bet those deer are going to be on their feet Wednesday night. And those are the same ingredients that give you a great hunt in the fall. They're the same ingredients that I infused into the HuntCast algorithm through HuntWise, which you can check out on the link in the description. Number 5, water, water, water. What I mean by that is we have shrubs from big rock trees that went in. We have trees that went in from our local Winona nursery, and we had trees from Yellow River Farms go in that we've put in, and we need to water. And we actually kept our trees alive to the tune of about 80% last year. All our big ones, 100%. Jen and I were actually literally high-fiving this year when our big maples actually budded out because we watered them over 30 times last year to keep them alive in our drought. So hopefully we get a lot of rain this year. It's looking that way in the early part of this spring. But boy, June is a critical month for watering. And that's why a lot of times spring clover crops fail, because if you hit any kind of drought, the root system's not established deep enough to actually withstand a prolonged drought during the summertime. So that's where we have our spring drought attack, our perennial drought attack, where we have an annual grass or rye in there that actually dies out after a year, doesn't choke everything out, but it acts as a nurse crop for that young clover for this year, no different than oats in the farm fields for alfalfa. And then finally, every deer chores, shoot your bow. We've been hitting our range a few times here and there a week, just 15 arrows, 20 arrows at a time. And it's really starting to feel good. So I'm looking forward to going in this fall. And the fall's, like I said, right now we're about a little under 4 months away from the season. So it'll be here very fast. We know life moves fast. And Dylan, I'll put Dylan on the spot for, can you add anything? I'm sure I probably missed an obvious one.
If anybody's like me and, you know, some of their chores had to wait till June to get done because May was busy. I'm looking at some plot maintenance on some of my clover plots as far as, you know, doing some clethodim spraying, and then also probably going to get my first mowing done then. And then also looking at switchgrass as well for the same kind of thing. This year, from the stuff that I had started last year, probably be doing mowing late May, early June, and then also applying 2,4-D to that as well in early June. And that's also a good time if you do have issues with foxtail to get the quinclorac sprayed as well, right?
Yeah, all really good advice. And that's where switchgrass, June is critical. We chose to not mow early in the year and mow more like June time, because that's when fawns actually get away from the mower as opposed to running them over. If they're a few days old, you run them over. Also, nesting chicks and turkeys, we wanted to get outside of that period too, so that puts us in June, and a great time, like Dylan said, for that quinclorac, especially for getting rid of that foxtail, because foxtail can be very consuming. I found that switch can kind of manage a little bit with broadleafs as long as they get above and get some sunlight, but foxtail can just completely choke out and eradicate your switchgrass like no other grass. So, and then the clover. We've already mowed some of our clover, but a great time to think about making sure your perennial plots are mowed, because really you can manage clover, and you could even add to that. June is a great time because we're getting good moisture. If you have a weed problem within your clover, 1 quart per acre. Don't do ounces, anything like that, but 1 quart per acre of glyphosate will not kill your clover. It'll set it back. In our case, we have chicory in there, birchfoot trefoil, alfalfa. So you really need to be careful about what's in your blend. But if you're just talking pure clover, it can withstand 1 quart per acre of glyphosate, because glyphosate is the weakest herbicide you can use. So it doesn't stay in the ground. It doesn't kill something a week from now. So think about that as an option too, but be very, very careful. I'll say this with a warning. Don't put too much out, because you can really kill your clover if you get too much out, too much on that clover. So there's June deer chores, a lot to do, but man, the season's going to be here before we know it. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I really want to encourage you to check out digital land management through whitetailstrategy.com. These concepts that I manage for and that I go to clients, 1,600 clients in 26 states over the last 20 years, we're putting into a digital platform. So you can take those concepts and you can apply it to anywhere a whitetail roams. Doesn't matter if it's private land or public land. For example, on private land, you could take a food plot, add it to this location, see how it hurts you or helps you in the whole scheme of morning hunting, afternoon hunting, add a cabin, add a road, check out parking spots on public land where you think clear cuts are, and see how that affects your overall hunt with multiple properties in any state where whitetails are and where you hunt. Check it out. Be some of the first to sign up. Check out whitetailstrategy.com. Follow the link, sign up, answer the questions, and we can give you more when we have it available. Thank you.